it's just then when you really understand how special it is, and you can see from my face. Yeah, wow, that just sounds absolutely glorious. That is about as good as an engine sound gets. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to another car review, and an amazing one at that. I have got a Porsche GT3, a 992 GT3, so the newest gen GT3. NA motor, 4 litre screamer, 9,000 RPM of absolute heaven. I cannot wait. It's a PDK version, just so you know. I'm going to hopefully drive later in the year, or very soon, hopefully the manual version, to give a comparison. But yeah, I'm really intrigued as to how good this car is. I hear so many amazing things. You've got a production car that basically does around 7 minutes around the Nürburgring. For me, everyone who knows me will know that I absolutely love cars like this, so I think I'm going to be in my element. Any Porsche I've ever driven, including the 718, have been out of this world. To finally drive something like this, dreams come true. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll tell you a bit more about the car on the drive, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Right guys, so yes, I'm finally out in the 992 GT3, which is current gen, new gen. Obviously they haven't been out for very long at all. I'm going to give a quick shout out straight away actually to Roger Bailey. I'll put links in the bio for where you want to follow him. He has allowed me to drive not Porsche GB today, so massive thanks to Roger. Like I say, this is a special car and it's very hard to get a hold of something like this, especially if you're a YouTuber my size. So 500 horsepower, plenty of torque, about 420. It makes peak power at 8,400 RPM. And obviously the red line is, if you haven't already seen in tech specs, is 9,000 RPM. Yes, it's a naturally aspirated 4 litre 9,000 RPM screamer. A lot of the car has been derived from essentially a GT3 race cup car, and driving it, I can tell straight away. We're only in normal mode of 3. There's normal, sports and track. You can adjust kind of the height of the front of the car, or the height of the car, to avoid potholes and lumps and bumps and ramps, which is great. And it's also got that adjustable suspension just on a button, so you can change your dampening, which is really nice as well. But first and foremost, the drive. How does it feel behind the wheel? Now, let's say on normal mode, it feels, apart from the exhaust, which you can kind of turn off remotely and such, and put it into a quieter mode if you need to, if you want, which I don't think I ever will. I love the sound of it. You can basically change the settings for that, and yeah, obviously you can go as wild as you want and as mild as you want, but probably, I'm sure Roger will agree, and I'm sure in even normal mode, this is pretty much a race car for the road. So it's not going to be some super comfortable long range cruiser. However, in normal mode, it does feel relatively comfortable, so I think you could drive good distances in it. But I'll be intrigued to see what it feels like, and I'll go through some of the different settings with you without babbling on too much about that. 0 to 60, so it's 3.9 for the manual. I am in the PDK model, which is 3.4, so obviously the PDK is the quickest car in a straight line, and realistically around track or around anywhere, to be honest with you. The PDK is going to be the model that's going to cover ground quickest. Which would I choose? It's impossible for me to say unless I drive both. I do want to drive both. They both have, in my opinions, their kind of pros and cons. Probably not many cons for either of them, to be honest with you. But the PDK is going to be probably easier to live with if you hit an M25 or things like that. You're going to not need to, massage or work out that right foot, that left foot so much, really. So that's the quite nice thing about the PDK. With the manual, yes, maybe something I may prefer. I do like something. I mean, I don't think it loses it too much in a car like this, but some people would say the driver engagement's taken away by the PDK. I don't think really so much in a car like this. I mean, it is, like I say, a race car for the road. You can always use the tip box on the front of the steering wheel, and you can also just chuck the gearbox into its kind of like manual tip setting as well, so it probably feels a bit more like a manual box car. with a gearbox as sophisticated as this, unlike some of the lazy, lethargic kind of auto cars of old, you will get reactions very, very quick with a down change and an up change, and it'll let you do pretty much what you want when you put it into the wilder settings. So before I start driving this and pushing it a little bit harder, I'm going to tell you a bit more about lots of other things like the brakes. The brakes are 408mm at the front and 380 at the rear, so you have got crazy sized brakes for a road car. They're carbon ceramic as well, so it's pretty much going to put you through the window. We will test not it putting me through the window, how they're like when we push it a bit more. We've got a bit more kind of twisty roads now, so I kind of push it on a little bit more, not too much, just to feel how the steering feels. Like I say, it's going to change in the different modes, but straight away it feels really, really nice. It corners so flat, and it just feels phenomenal. So yeah, other than that, while I'm in normal mode, I'm not going to talk too much about kind of the drive just yet, but I want to tell you about a few more things. I did mention that it is a GT3 car pretty much for the road, and a lot of this car is derived for pretty much the racetrack. You could put a number on this and nearly go racing straight away. When you think of how much this car costs, some people would say it's expensive, but when you look at it, it does feel very, very special, and you can understand why it is what it is and how much it costs. From £126,000, they are starting to change hands and exchange hands for £250,000 now, because you can't get yourself one of these very easily, or you have to get yourself on a list, and the list can be sometimes quite long. I can't quote you on that, but I will give you a little link to where you can go to potentially buy one of these. But going on a bit more about the racy feel and the race car feel of this car, there's a few things that some people haven't mentioned about this car, something that tickles my fancy and I get quite excited about, and it's the race components that are within the motor. Now, I kind of modify cars and I do silly things to my car, and I understand the beauty of some of these amazing modified parts and these parts that you find on race cars that sometimes find themselves on a road car, on a very special, very expensive road car, like something like this. This car has titanium forged connecting rods, forged titanium con rods out of the factory. Now, I know for my Supra that I own, a set of titanium con rods, which are only just being developed by a company in the States called BC Racing, they are probably between £5,000 and £10,000 for a set of connecting rods on their own. These have them out of the factory. Pretty special. One more thing aside from even that, this car has a dry sump lubrication system. So it has what is basically, I'm not going to go into the mechanics of it, it has a race oiling system. What essentially a dry sump allows you to do is it allows you to take this car on track, and if you fitted a set of slicks to this and the oil in the pan sloshed round to the right, the left, on acceleration, deceleration, bilateral and lateral acceleration, the oil would be able to pick up anything it needed to pick up, because this has a special oiling system called a dry sump. They're found on race cars, and again, you're looking at about £10,000 plus for a dry sump system on, if you're retrofitting it to a race car. This has it out of the factory. You start to understand a bit more about where the money goes on this car. It's pretty special. So other than the carbon ceramic brakes, obviously you'll probably see some big alloy wheels on this car as well. They're forged aluminium wheels with centre line lock fixing, which is amazing, like a race car again. Like I say, what I notice and I love about a Porsche as well is I like the offset size. 21 inch on the rear, 20 inch on the front as well, and they do look so nice in this golden kind of colour as well. Really, really nice. Right, let's give it a bit of go. Oh wow. Okay, so if you hadn't seen me, like if you've been seeing a mild smile from me, it's me being excited about how amazing this already feels. It's just then when you really understand how special it is, and you can see from my face. Yeah, wow, that just sounds absolutely glorious. That is about as good as an engine sound gets in a car, and yeah, I'm happy about that. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Flipping heck. Oh my word. Oh my word. I would be on full throttle all the time. It just sounds so amazing. Changing the modes just so I see how it reacts and how it feels. I've just got it in sports mode. Yeah, you definitely feel a little bit more weight on the steering. I'm going to try and track as well. Obviously everything gets a little bit more amped up, a little bit more wilder. You can hear obviously the valves I think opening a bit more, holds onto the revs a little bit more. I can still change manually, which I can on the box, so you can hear me. But yeah, everything goes a little bit more, yeah, track focused. You can feel the suspension bouncing around a little bit more, and you can feel, like, say, the steering input becoming a little bit more weighty. Also on the steering wheel, and I'll show you this, you'll probably see in the VT now, there is a little drive mode button. Basically, you just hold that button or just press it once, and essentially it puts 18, it gives the car a wild factor and a wild mode for 18 seconds. Almost like an overtaking mode, essentially. It gives you all the power, and then it'll put it back in the setting that you were once on, which is pretty cool, actually. I like that. So yeah, I'm in sports mode. I'm going to give it another little push again. Ready? There's 9,000 RPM for you guys. It's just absolutely glorious. The sound and the responsiveness of this motor, I say this race-derived engine, with titanium cotton rods. I love that. I think you can tell it's got something special in there internally. Someone like me with an engineering background really appreciates it. I'm sure all of you watching this will appreciate it as well. It's just special. It just is truly special. Let's go. Apart from the sound, you wouldn't believe it's non-turbocharged, and the reason I say it doesn't feel like a turbocharged car, but it just has so much power. It is just, it puts you in the back of the seat. For me, the power for the road is perfect. 500 horsepower, 510 PS. It is just, the balance of torque and power in this car throughout the rev range is just perfectly matched to this car. It is absolutely sublime. Such a good car. Now, we haven't done it. I'm going to ask, I'm going to see if look over Roger and see if he's okay with me doing it. I'm just going to give it a bit of a brake, if that's all right. A nice big strong brake. Let's test out what these 408mm calipers are like, or discs, should I say. Very good. Like I say, you've got carbon ceramic brakes, 408mm on the front, like I said, and 380 on the rear. In a car that only weighs about 1,400 kilograms, that is about as good a braking system as you're going to get in a car as well. So it's got the go, and it's also got the stopping ability as well. And to be fair, if you've got a car that can do what this does, you want to have some confidence inspiring brakes. So rest assured, thankfully you have, which is good. But yeah, obviously, just to let you guys know, obviously I'm not pushing this car insanely hard. It's not my car. The insurance excess is £10,000 for today as well, just so you know, so I'm taking it very careful. I am getting a chance to transition and push it a little bit more, and I am going to in a minute, but rest assured, just to let you know, this car handles so good. In fact, it is the best handling car I've ever driven in my life. That's how good it is. Right, so I'm going to have a little bit more of a chance now to just push it. If you can't hear me, I'm just going to shut up and enjoy it. Brake into this corner. Yeah, that is pretty much all you need. So the speed, like I say, is well within the speed limit, but we're kind of accelerating into the corner, and we can really feel how this hankers down on the ground, and the lateral grip of this car is just, it is almost mind-bending. It almost hurts your brain to kind of go around this one as well. It takes it like you're doing 10 miles an hour. you know, you're going right up to national speed and you feel like you're going around this effortlessly, like you're doing 10 mile an hour. The chassis just, and the mechanical grip of this car is just phenomenal. Transitions so well, and the feedback through the steering wheel is so connected. It's a lovely weight, a really nice rack ratio as well. It's just sublime, guys. I wish you could all feel it, but rest assured it is just truly something special. I just wanted to do that again because it just sounds so good. It's just so nice, so good. One of the questions that Roger gets asked a lot of the time, and I've seen other people ask, with anything like this, when you're nudging on like 500 odd horsepower, is the car too much for the road? Like I say, it's effectively, and I've said, a race car for the road, but is 500 horsepower too much for this car? And the answer is absolutely not. This is as close to perfection, in my opinion, for the power it has, for the chassis it has, and for the grip you have. It's just pure for perfection. And I said off camera to Roger, the best way to describe this car is it's just addictive. It just makes you want to drive it more and more and push it harder and harder. It's got so much mechanical grip though that you could get yourself in trouble, because you can find yourself going really fast speeds so easily. But even at low down speeds, you can have fun with this car. This car just makes you feel happy and it makes you smile all the time. And if you're in the market for one, guys, honestly, go get yourself a test drive, go drive it. You're gonna buy one, trust me, you are gonna buy one. Round and roundabout, pushing the front end to see what this is like. Jeez. A good test of a chassis as well, seeing how much it hangs on around a roundabout. Obviously I'm not going to push it to silly speeds, but actually you can feel the diff working through here. It's just amazing, and the brakes are superb, and the bite from these tyres, these Pirelli P0 Corsas, is just phenomenal. God, I'd love to have this car out on track. This is where it belongs, but don't get me wrong, it's still so good on the road, and you can have so much fun. What a machine. Roger, if you can sell me this car for less than it's worth, I'd love to have it. If not, Porsche GB, please can you give me one of these cars? I want one now so badly. Oh, what a car, what a car. So that is the end of the video and the end of our video review of the 992 Porsche GT3. I don't need to say too much more because I'm sure I have on the video and on the review. If you've got any questions, guys, hit us up in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I mean, just look at this car. Summarization of this car: it is a full-blown road-going race car. The mechanical grip is just mind-bending. It is, in my opinion, as close to perfection as you'll ever come and ever see in a road car. I want one so badly now. It's just blowing my mind. It is, for me, perfection. 500 horsepower of pure mechanical grip perfection. I'm kind of speechless. I'm struggling to get my words out because of how good this car is, but I'm sure you saw it from the video. Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.